To all the dignitaries and the participants in today's webcast. I, CA Bhavi Thakkar, on behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICAI, welcome all the participants in today's webcast on the Leadership Redefined Power Skills for Influencing, Inspiring, and Leading in Today's World. Today we have with us a resource person, CA Maninder Kaurji, and others all present over here. I welcome you on today's webcast. Nowadays the leadership has been just redefined. It is now not no longer leadership with titles or authority. It is more about influence without power and inspiration without the position and impact or without a control. So on today's important webcast topic, leadership redefined, power skills for influencing, inspiring, and leading in today's world, we have a wonderful speaker, CA Maninder Kaurji, who is FCA, DISA, and FAFD. She is a seasoned chartered accountant with over 18 years of experience in accounting, auditing, and financial advisory. She is a renowned speaker and trainer, having delivered 700 plus workshops across North India on communication, motivation, and professional skills. She is currently serving as a curator and facilitator of MMK Women Achievers Talk, advisory board member at Mentorex, and managing partner at MK Associates, where she leads statutory, tax, internal, and forensic audit engagements. She is also a technical reviewer with ICAI's Research Committee and TAQRB. A merit holder from Hansraj College, she is a fellow chartered accountant with multiple certifications, including DISA, concurrent audit, forensic, and fraud detection, peer review, etc. She has been honored with several prestigious national and international awards for her impactful contributions. Her vision is to empower and mentor millennials and women professionals to become confident, ethical, and future ready leaders. So, in today's morning, I welcome you, ma'am, on the board for a wonderful topic, and we hope that you are explaining us with all your practical aspects. Welcome you, ma'am, for today's session.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful introduction of mine. It was obviously very long. Thank you so very much. Let's just start with this webcast. So, good morning to all here. Good day to the respective participants. And today, as we know, the theme for the today's session is leadership redefined, power skills for influencing, inspiring, and leading in today's world. Let me start with the screen sharing. Yeah. So, as we all know, the theme for the today's webcast is leadership redefined, power skill for influencing, inspiring, leading in today's world. To start, before to start, I would like to thank Professional Skill Enrichment Committee to provide me with this wonderful opportunity. I sincerely appreciate your valuable time and patience, which reflect the commitment of to continue our professional skill enrichment and learning excellence. In today's session, which has been designed to provide meaningful insights in how and the leadership as a power skill can enhance, can be an effective tool for professionals like us, will try to cover as if how only leader cannot in, can just through influence and not by authority they can inspire through their actions and through vision. They can actually decide with confidence, clarity, and in today's scenario, as we all know, we need to adapt, excel, and empower. So before we start, let's just talk about a very important topic, that is leadership redefined. It's a power skill, right? So before we go into into exactly this slide says. Let's just redefine the leadership word. The moment I use the word leadership redefined, it refers to the essential modern leadership. Modern leadership competencies like influence, empathy, communication, and moving beyond the traditional authority to which was more power centered. Now it's not just an authority, but it's more to guide, more of an influence, empathy, and communication to guide the teams through connections, and a vision which can influence, inspire the teammates. This key power skill includes self-awareness, building trust, strategic thinking, and obviously effective communication to motivate and to achieve goal collaboratively in today's world. The moment we use power skill and its concept, let's just try to understand few very important concepts which I will be using in this slide as well. And obviously we in our common scenario we have been using them. Influence. What is exactly influence? Influence is an ability to impact others attitude, behavioral patterns, and to it is often built through a strong relationship and trust. Now, a very important word I'll use it. Leadership is not magic. It is not just that we'll say things and it will be done. It is it's a process of earning the trust, the confidence, the influence. So the very word influence exactly is an ability of a leader to impact their teammates. Next, a very important topic which I would like to cover here was is in inspiration. We talked about influence. Now we'll talk about inspiration. Inspiration, commonly used through always we use inspiring words and we say it is very inspiring for us to see him or her. So the leader is expected to have an inspiration in them. It is a kind of motivation, people motivating people towards a shared purpose. Let's to have a purpose driven to make them more driven, more motivated about that. So inspiring is something to often which is leaded through the example and connecting to the larger mission. Now the very important third word is collaboration. Influence, inspiration, collaboration. Collaboration is working together, right? Working together, the moment we use collaboration word, we say is at like we it's a win-win situation for both of us. How to collaborate, how to connect, requiring skills like curiosity, appreciation, and interpersonal understanding. What do you need? What is my need? And how we can work out together and how we can collaborate. So collaboration is again a very important concept. It's a basically a skill which is imbibed in leader. So these next, as I said, communication. The more clearly you are communicating, the more articulate you are in providing your vision to your teammates. It is so very essential for a leader to give instructions and clearly resolving conflicts effectively and efficiently. The leaders are expected to resolve queries, understand the issues, and resolve them amicably, and also communicating to their teammates very clearly. So these are the very common terms which will be used in future also in the slides. So I wanted them to be clearly talked on. So let's see the next very important concept. We talked about influence. Then there was a next word was inspiration, collaboration, communication. Now we'll talk about self awareness. self awareness, and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, again, it's a very powerful tool, which is to understand and manage one's own emotion and recognizing them in order to guide behavior, in order to have a in order to understand what all is expected out of others and what all is the expectation level of others. Only then you can guide them, only then you can instruct them, only then you can get the work done. Next very important concept is strategic thinking and innovation. Leaders are expected to come out of new encouraging new ideas and making the driving the decisions in such a way that they are paving the good way for the future. The leaders have should start their strategic thinking and innovations in their mind so that they can encourage new ideas, and hence they can actually convert the ideation process more smooth and relevant. Developing others. Leadership will not be complete if will not take others development of others and also into consideration. We as a if we as a professional, we are chartered accountant, and amongst us many of our are leading so many teams. So there's a very common thing which is there to actually effectively effectively make the people understand your work. And finally there's a development part also at the end of the participants or the teammates which are following you, because we will you all will agree the leadership is not just that you have a power and you can communicate and say that this is should be done. This is more of a positional power. This is more of positional authority, right? Through authority, effective leadership is not actually, there is not a possibility, there's a greater possibility of not having a very effective leadership. And the moment we want to check whether leadership actually exists or not, we should understand that people should follow you when they are not supposed to follow you. The moment they are not supposed to follow you and still they are following you as a leader, that itself is very evident that there is a kind of leadership which is invisible, still is making an impact, making an influence, inspiring them, motivating them to come up and work and develop themselves, and also to adhere to what is the conferred vision is. These were the few words which is so important the moment we talk about power skills of influencing, inspiring, and leading. As we all know, we are navigating the complexity of modern leadership. It's no more just a original than a traditional expertise. It demands authenticity and presence, power to inspire the transformational change. Before we enter into the new slide, the new leadership landscape in 2025, I would like everyone to put the whole concepts which I was trying to give you out. Why these skills matter? A very important and relevant question. Why these skills matter? Why it is important to influence, why it is important to inspire, why it is important for us to develop others, why it is important to communicate well, why, again, it is important to have an emotional intelligence. Because earlier, the leadership was more traditional one. Now, in a modern landscape, new leadership is more demanding. Modern leaders need to understand the need of the people, need of the environment. The complexities is not just to be handled by authority or power. It is more to be understood and to actually being able to guide and motivate them so that they can work in this complex environment. The landscape is changing, technology is there. So there's a greater need. Why do we need these skills? Because we know that the modern environment is complex. There's a complexity all over. Also, we understand that there is a vision or a goal, which is why we want the people to why we want to influence them and voluntarily to come to the common objective of the firm, of the organization, of the whole nation as such. A leader should be able to understand that there is a need for bringing the teammates to one term so that they can together work together as a team, they can work and desired output is actually achieved. Again, it is so important because the leadership, the influence the leadership is building is actually building the strong team. They are building the trust, the fact, yeah, they are building the trust and strong connection for better relationship and collaboration. Adaptability, collaboration, authenticity. The world in leadership in today's technological advancement, the hybrid mode of working, it is so very important for every leader to understand that there is a greater need of adaptability, collaboration, and to be authentic in their work profile. Traditionally, we have seen leadership was more associated, as we talked about, is more associated with authority, high hierarchy, power centric, seniority. So that was a traditional phase. Now the landscape has changed. A leader is Earlier, the leader was expected to give what? Instructions, ensure compliances, and monitor performances. But in today's significantly changed environment, the landscape has changed entirely. We are living in a rapid technological advancement. There is a regulatory requirement, expectations, as we talked about hybrid mode of working. Models are The hybrid working models are upcoming, and there is an increasing professional accountability. Earlier there were accountability to a little less extent. Now we have seen there is a professionals like us are having a lot of accountability, and it is increasing every day. We see the professionals like to be in audit, taxation, governance, advisory service. Leadership is not just a technical correctness, it is about judgment, credibility, and building trust. In such an environment, leadership is no longer to command with control. Command and controlling was something which was part of leadership back. Now, in this modern era, the landscape has changed and the progressiveness is there. There's a lot of technological advancement, human influence, ethical conduct, and control connections is important. I would like you all to silently think on in your mind a leader you admire most on your in your professional life, and think why that people has influenced you. Just take a minute and think what all was the parameter, what was the factors which have what are the factors which has made you admire that professional leader in your life. We all know, and in the world of automation, like the use of AI, artificial intelligence, global connectivity, the industries are reshaping. Our skills are becoming formerly, which was called as soft skills, are known as our power skills, are essential for the success. Like skills like emotional intelligence, as I said, adaptability. These words were actually not thought of, not talked on. Now they are actually so very important because leaders are must be so quick in responding to the market change, to the dynamics which are changing, technologies which are changing, new technologies which are entering into the market. So, adaptability is something which is so very much important and required for the greater success of any leader. Again, to navigate the complexities of modern work, technical expertise is not just important because we are working with human human around. The teams is there, the teamwork, team lead. If you're a leader, you have a team around you. So it is more to work with the collaboration effect, bridging and building the gaps and building the trust, earning the trust. The process of earning the trust, as I said, is what exactly is required in the phase of collaboration. Bridging the gaps, building the bridges across diverse teams and geographies is essential for organizational success. As we are in 2026, the organizations are realizing that power skills are not just complementary to technical skills. They are the key to thrive to the future of work. The rising need of this power skills in transforming world's business. We understand that demographically, technologically, economical shifts are reshaping the workforce. The landscape is no more the earlier one. In 2026, rather, it should be uh, we understand that workplace have greater diversities, rapid technological advancements, and there is a shifting of economical models also. We need the leaders to adapt. We need the leaders to collaborate. We need the leaders to actually do the genuine leadership and to create the psychological safety in the era of this transparency. Authenticity is what we are talking about. The more use of AI, artificial intelligence, and automation, we know, we understand, and we will totally agree on this end that the repeated task, which was more of a human centric, now can be done by use of technology. So the need for the leader to have the creativity, judgment, and emotional intelligence is of more relevance these days. Adaptability also ensures resilience in volatile markets. It provides that strength to the leader to actually think critically and to drive towards innovation. We talked about the terms which were so relevant in our whole let of leadership skill set. Be it influence, be it inspiration, be it critical thinking, be it emotional intelligence, be it development, be it self awareness. These were the common topics and collaboration. How can we forget that? So, these are the basic concepts which are of more relevance these days because without without taking consideration of the people around, a leader cannot win. A leader, as we talked about, a is not here to create a magic. It is more of a process of earning the trust. He is the person who has to walk the talk. He is the person who will be building the relationships, who will be building the balances between the relationships and results. His decisions are always driven in such a way that there is a balance in the balance in the relationship and the results. Organization wants results. People who are actually working, they have their own limitations. So the leader has to consider both the ends and to make it best out of it. So it is not just words. He is not here to utter words. He is actually to guide them. The words are not just a inspiration. They should be an inspiration. There should be a confidence of the team on the leader, that the leader who's actually saying, they are not just he's not just and not just saying these as a words, they are actually the words which will he will work on it. This is actually he as a leader is. So basically leadership is an art of understanding the need of the other person and to make it work for both the ways. Again, authenticity is something we cannot leave here. To make the team more safe, to make them work for us, there has to be point of authenticity. Okay. Power skills that define modern leadership. Power skills. What are power skills? Before I actually break down this slide, I would like to ask you, what exactly is our power skills? Power skill, as we discussed, is was once seen as in complementary attributes. Attributes which were complementary, but now have become a backbone for the workforce excellence in an economy that is evolving rapidly. Every day there is a change in the economy, and unlike technical skill, which was task specific, power skills help employees to adapt, to collaborate, innovate across diverse roles and industries. By 2026, these skills will form. We are in 2026, and we know that these power skills will form core foundation for the organization, navigating the uncertainties. The business which is dealing with so many uncertainties, and the power skill, the moment the power skills enter, there is a power of navigating through the uncertainties and seizing new opportunities. To avail the new opportunities which are available, the leaders has to have power skill, and the power skill comprises of communication, leadership, collaboration, customer function, and attention to detail. Before we go into that, the leadership, the power skill, which we know, is redefining how influence and vision are exercised. Modern leaders new have to have strategies for understanding the technological disruptions and emotional intelligence to maintain the connected and motivated workforce. To have a connected and motivated workforce, the leader has to make sure that both the ends, as I discussed earlier, also that he is the master. He is the master to so many people around him, and he is leading the team. And the moment he is leading the team, he is there to maintain through his intelligence, emotional intelligence, to make sure the team is connected, team around it is motivated, and they are actually innovated, innovated, innovating the performances, and also impacting the prioritization of the organization. The shift in this focus is to transform how organizations measure success. Technical skills ensure operational efficiency. Power skills drive long term value by cultivating innovation, by presenting the resilience and making the workforce strong, and the people around the people who are working in work as a workforce should be having a stronger relationship with the leader. If an organization fail to prioritize power skills, will definitely stag behind. They will not have any innovation, they'll not have any stimulation, they'll have to have any motivation. They will be There'll be disorganized, disengaged teams which will work under them, and again it will reduce the competitiveness and will in long run not term not work out as good as it should be. We talked about leadership in 2025, 2026, the new era, the new landscape. As we all know, data analytics, artificial intelligence, automation is redefining the work which was executed. The process is becoming faster, reporting cycles are becoming faster, there's increased scrutiny, and also there is a higher expectancies from the stakeholders. We have seen and we can understand, and we all will agree to this, that stakeholders, the expectancy, the accountability is increasing. As a professional, we see this. So the structure of work is also changing. Teams now are not just within the frame, within their cities. There can be a possibility of having diverse work leaders and diverse over dispersed over cities, states, even countries. You can have a leader sitting somewhere else and you working under him. So the vision, the structure of the work has changed. Leaders cannot rely only on the physical supervision, which was earlier the most of it. Now they can only rely on the trust, clarity, and communication. More effective communication you have with your teams, the more efficiently delegation work will be done, and you can see your outcomes to be on the better side. Again, we talked about uncertainty. Now, uncertainty is so particular, so permanent. We cannot expect a similar scenarios every time. There's a difference, there's an uncertainty which is prevailing. Regulatory changes are there, economic fluctuations are there, global disruptions are every day we got to hear them, and we require the leaders to remain calm and decisive. The three the three parts, the three qualities we actually talked about in the last slide were adaptability, collaboration, and authenticity. Adaptability, as we talked, has to be, for example, while statutory requirement became non-negotiable, the method of execution may be flexible. We understand that there is some kinds of fixed work which has to be done, but there has to be some kind of flexibility in method of getting the work done or execution, so that the approach still not being compromised, still the outcome is favorable, and the principles are not compromised, and adaptive leaders are actually getting the work more efficiently done. We also understand the need of collaboration. Again, working effectively with diverse stakeholders and teams. We understand, we know that teams are often dispersed. They are not sitting in one city or one state or one country. So collaboration is so important because you, as a collaborative leader or a efficient leader, you are coordinating the entire finance, compliances, operations, and technological terms. So the new need of being collaborative, being effective, and authentic, as I said, has to have a ethical clarity. Ethical clarity, so so that you as a leader can earn the trust trust of your teammates, because they know that you have the capability of walking what are you talking. This is what we call as walk the talk. Authentic leaders communicate openly and consistently act. So here we are talking about what all should be the part of effective leadership. The more clear, the more communicative you are, the more articulate you are in giving out your ideas across all mediums, you are definitely going to get a better option, better results. Leadership is just not exactly guiding teams towards shared goals, but to make them work towards the shared goal or the vision through collaboration and being consistent. Here we cannot forget that there's a need of a leader to focus on the client, focus on the needs and expectations, which is customers' priority. We need to, as a leader, we need to prioritize customers or clients' need so that we can deliver the value there which is expected, the exceptional value which we are here to create out of our work. Again, attention to detail. The more ensuring excellence through precision and through thoroughness. Each decision which a leader is going to undertake is affecting and how it is in detail working out. That is also a kind of work which as a leader is required to be looked at. In a profession like ours, chartered accountant, which is governed by law and standards, we as a professional cannot leave leave the work and not see how how the work has been how the work has actually been done, to actually check in detail the integrity and professionalism which is expected out of us as a CEO, as a professional leader for an organization, working for an organization. We as a chartered accountant are required to be having that much of kind of integrity in our work profile, also making the custom also looking at what exactly is the priority of the customer or the client, and making sure that policies which are governed, the laws and the standards which are expected out of our work should be actually followed, well followed. We cannot overlook at any time as a leader. Let's move toward the next slide. Yeah, executive presence. The most underrated leadership skill. Executive presence is often misunderstood, yet highly impactful leadership quality. It is not about appearance, it is not about how you present yourself, not only about how you present yourself, it is also how people perceive you, how much they are, what type of credibility you are bringing to the table, and how effectively and efficiently you have performed in past, and what about your value judgments, and what about your credibility. The first component is gravitas. Gravitas is the confidence and the composure that inspire trust. The, the quality of a leader to stay calm and composed while under pressure. We, as a chartered accountant, will agree that there are so many deadlines, there are many work pressures, and there's so many expectations create pressures for a chartered accountant to act as a leader. And the prominent factor, the prominent part, gravitas, the whole scenario will be complete if you'll have a good composure, you'll have a calm personality, and you know how to react, how to respond, not to react, basically. Because there are a lot of audit assignments, a lot of negotiations going on, there will be crisis situations. At times, there are in business because there are a lot of uncertainties, and we understand this with all integrity that there is a lot of pressure from the market, which actually transforms our work. And as a leader, we are supposed to keep the gravitas, strong gravitas, because the leader with the gravitas make difficult decisions with quite good responsibility and authority. You cannot expect as a leader to be in such a anxiety or stress to work. If you as a leader will be in such a situation, expect, what are you expecting out of your team? The team is looking up to you for every decision. As a leader, you are there to guide him. You are there to create a magic for them. You are providing a hand holding support to your teammates when there is a crisis, there's a crisis management, there is a and you in these types of situation has to create a positive, strong gravitas. The second component is again communication. Leaders with executive presence speak with clarity and structure. They definitely avoid using unnecessary complexity. The more clear, the more wise you are in taking your decisions, the more calm and composed you are, the more clear clarity you have in your decisions, you are definitely going to make a good influence on the thousands of the people you are actually going to lead them. So, again, structure your mind in a way to so that you will be able to influence with words, not with authority as a leader. Heading toward the third component. Third component of executive presence, which is not just the way you look, the way you appear, the way you present yourself. It has much more to be added. Your appearance, the physical appearances, and professional conduct. you your presence should be should be aligned with the authority you wish to convey. So a very relevant component, third very relevant component of a executive presence is the preparedness, the discipline, the consistency you are the consistency you are showcasing, and the way you are consistent in contributing to your credibility. These smaller little things actually combines and make the big picture complete. Gravitas, your confidence, your composure, your taking how you take pressures, communication, how well you have structured your mind, how well you're using how articulate you are, and the third part is your appearance. To complete the picture, your appearance will also matter again with the professional conduct, your credibility, your discipline, your preparedness. Again, you can demonstrate your presence, your professional conduct everywhere with your eye contact, with use of your uh, controlled tone, clear articulation, voice modulation. At times you can be hard, at times you can be soft. Again, you have to understand the need of an hour. What exactly is the crisis situation? What is the situation? How I should make them feel more own. Clear articulation, controlled tone, formal tone of communication, and maintaining the eye contact with your, be it online or if you have a virtual meeting. In spite of having a virtual meeting, you can you can demonstrate your discipline through your eye contact with the cameras there, and your tone of communication, your discipline, be on time, prepare your work, structure your mind in advance, be consistent toward your credibility, because you are building, you're contributing every day. Your judgment, your credibility is being actually creating confidence. These are the smaller little things which are actually building the entire building. So you have to, as I said, as I've already said this earlier also, that leadership is not just one day magic. It is a process. It is a process of using multiple tools like we talked about communication, inspiration, and creating positivity. How can we forget of creating positivity? Very relevant, because people will follow you if they feel they feel positive, and they are in touch with you, they are uh, in below you, they are getting commands from you, but they are being heard. There's a positivity you are giving out. There is an expertise, you know your work well, and you know how to get things done. Again, there is a need of creativity, there's a need of innovation. You as a leader can only you and as a leader can can be the only person who can motivate them to innovate, to think new ideas. And your motivation towards innovation and your appreciation can make them work wonders. At times, as a leader, you are required to be flexible. You cannot be rigid. You cannot stick to one format. You have to be flexible to understand the dynamics, understand the need. Emotional intelligence is there. Again, you cannot do all by yourself. You have to have team. You have to have you have to know how to delegate, how to get work done, and how to get the work done. You have to delegate. If Your teammates need mentoring, your hand holding support. You should be there as a leader. You should mentor them at times when they need your support. You have to be authentic, you have to be honest in your work. As I said, walk the talk. Remember, you cannot say, and it's not possible for you yourself to work on it. So you cannot expect others also to work. So make sure you're honest in giving them commands, giving them instructions, giving them uh, uh, making decisions. Your attitude towards the problem should be of that solving them, not listing the problems. You as a leader is not supposed to list down problems. Rather, you are here to actually make it make it work, make it work in a say that you have to present the solutions. Yeah. How mastering influence, a very important concept. We talked what is influence. Influence was ability to convince, you know. So we are here mastering influence. How leaders communicate well and master. Building influence, as we all know, is true test of leadership. Influential leaders communicate intentionally and they are clear with the purpose. They are consistent in their conduct and always respectful in their interaction. You cannot be disrespectful. You have to be respectful. You have to give the grace to the communication you are doing with your teammates or your juniors, or even if you are talking to your seniors, getting instructions or giving instructions. You have to make sure that the more respectful you are in the dealing, the more expectations, the better expectations, better support you will get. Influential leaders, as we said, as we talked about this, that they communicate intentionally and there is a purpose. There's a purposeful clarity, which is for that reason they use clear commands, clear instructions, clear word, and they are consistent so that they can the message is understood. The purpose behind it is that the work which is being delegated to them is actually understood. The message is actually understood. Again, authentic consistency build confidence and over the period of time. Strategic body language reinforce verbal communication. Our tone, authority, as we know earlier, traditional leadership is more of authority, but in modern leadership is more about influence. It is not just that you will lead with authority. You have to have that kind of influence. Your action should be driven towards the larger shared vision. And you, as a leader, should be able to decide with confidence, with clarity, so that you can accept, understand, empower them. And as an organization, you can excel. Again, emotional connection. We talked about empathy. We talked about understanding the need of others. Connection, building the connection, emotional connection is so very important because people then then feel that they are heard, they are valued, they are respected. Their genuineness with the connection is so genuine that they are doing the work with full heart and head and heart. It is not just that they're doing a monotonous work and just completing the task and leaving behind, not having any emotional connect with it. The leader who's actually imbibing the factor of emotional connection with the teammates is more successful, because the team is ready to work under pressures, work under crisis situations. They are working with their full zeal and enthusiasm. They are working with their heart and head to follow their leader, because they are feeling that they are part of the team, they are valued, they are respected. So you can see, so relevant these factors are. Emotional connection can actually change the whole game. You cannot expect people to be machines. They are emotional beings. We are emotional persons. We are emotional beings. We are human beings. We are not an artificially intelligently created people. We have our mind. We have our heart as well. So the moment you're valued, you're valuing, you are giving, you're inspiring them, you are motivating them, you are appreciating. At times, you are appreciating and creating a positivity between you and your teammates, you are definitely making a long term impact on the success of your organization. Because attitude is everything. We cannot just come, ask them to do your work, and expect them to work under you. Your tone, your authority should be such that it should create a powerful connection, powerful interaction. Otherwise, it will be the entire process will be not efficient enough. So, the more we work on our purposeful clarity, the tone, the authority tone, and emotional connection, building the emotional connection, and being consistent in our conduct, the teams are the teams under you will work wonders. We've seen many efficient leaders, yeah. Breakthrough leadership presents humility, presence, humility, and listening. There were, as we talked about, intense inspiration, collaboration, the need of emotional intelligence, the importance of self awareness is so important. Humility is not a weakness. We have to understand this. Leaders who acknowledge limitations and value others' contribution are definitely going to create a strong professional cultures. Now, you may disagree on this concept. You will say it's not good for a leader to accept your weakness, but it's not so. At times, and you cannot master everything. For sure, you cannot. You'll be good at one, not be good at other. So you may feel that this is something not my cup of tea. This is not my forte. But yes, you are very good at it. So humility is not a weakness. We should not consider it as a weakness. It is being humble, understanding and accepting and acknowledging others' contribution, and making a strong culture, professional culture. It is effective because the most effective leaders own their mistakes. because we are humans. We are not supernatural people. We have to understand that there is a possibility of making mistakes, and you should understand and accept and acknowledge. Accept, acknowledge, and understand and learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes so that you will not repeat them. Openly give credit generously. As a leader, we must have seen some people who are reluctant in giving credit to their juniors. They want to take credit of entire work profile, which is a wrong way of being a leader. As a leader, as a professional, taking others into consideration, taking everyone into consideration, it is so relevant to be humble, understand and accept the limitation or the weakness which you feel that you have and the other person is good at it. It creates an environment which is more trust friendly and more cordial. There is a lot of awareness and there is a possibility of greater growth. Humility does not diminish authority, it amplifies it. A very important concept of amplifying your authority, amplifying your leadership, your skill, your art. Being humility doesn't weakens you, it strengthens you. Rather, it strengthens you from your core. You are ready to understand and accept and make the mistakes you have made, and you are ready to change them. So, next very important breakthrough leadership is listening imperative. Listening remains most underutilized leadership skill. With 90% of communication being non-verbal, leaders who truly listen with eyes, ears, and intuition unlock insights others miss entirely. The number is 93%. 93% of the communication being non-verbal. Leaders who truly listen with eyes, ears open, and intuition working, there is a you will understand that there is a greater potential for those leaders who are listening, and because listening is a powerful tool, you all will agree to it. True listening requires patience, it requires your attention, it requires your empathy. You're empathetic enough to listen, to understand, and to actually be there for them. Having that much of patience give them an edge that they are being valued, they're being heard, they have been listened. So listening is a very, very imperative point where leaders can do wonders if they'll start listening to their teammates and also keeping eyes, ears, and intuitions open. Ask more, tell less. Again, a very important breakthrough. Asking thoughtful questions. Leaders who pose thoughtful questions rather than issuing directives, build stronger and more engaged team rather than just giving instructions and making them do work. Ask questions, ask them thoughtful questions, and building ownership and accountability. This will help, this will, the inquiry fosters ownership, creativity, and commitment to outcomes. You all know, you all will agree to this that leaders who are ready to ask more and tell less because normally we have seen leaders giving instructions, doing their giving out their work list, and not having time to ask, not having time to actually listen, not having time to understand or the accept their mistakes are definitely not a great, definitely not a good leaders. If, say, we expect ourselves to develop that leadership quality in us, we should surely work on these three big, very important breakthroughs. We should be humble enough to understand that there is a possibility of we making mistakes. It's not that we are appointed as a leader, we are superhuman, we cannot make any mistakes. We should not think that way. We should acknowledge the work which is being done by other, not by us, giving credibility, giving the due credit to our team. The second very important concept is to listen them, listen with patience, with attention. This is something which is very imperative, which we have seen the leaders forget to even listen about what exactly the teams actually how the teams are undergoing, and what exactly is their problems, and how they are actually working on the scene. For that for that reason, we should also start asking questions. We cannot uh, give instructions. We should ask them and tell less, so that they will have the authority, kind of accountability, that yes, this was decided by us. We have decided, we should be able to complete it. Our team has given us, our team leader has given us full freedom to decide and to work accordingly to our desired sheer vision. So it is so imperative and important. Yeah, vision and energy. We all know that vision provides direction. Vision is which drives us to execution. Leaders who are articulated enough to clearly express, communicate what exactly is the expectation of the organization and the team he's handling, and why it matters. Now, a very important thing is to understand that what is our vision, and how the organization is expecting to us to work, and why this vision is important, why this is important, and why it matters most. This is something which is in this tech driven world, the part should be discussed, should be talked. So 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 required, because the people who are working under you as a leader are making decisions. You are as a leader are expecting certain kind of expectations or results. But again, there is a relationship you are handling. So if you feel that there is a requirement of vision to be actually discussed, to give out a proper compelling vision, can give can help their energy to work toward it. Now we want the people to work for us. Now we as a let's say we are in the leadership position. We have teams under us, and we want them to work for us, and we are definitely understood, we are definitely making and making an edge that they all should work and work for us, so that there is a harmony, there's a vision, the vision which is expected should be actually clearly decided, clearly driven, because only then we'll see the energy which is, as we were talking about, enthusiasm, the zeal, the responsiveness, the commitment. Vision without energy is merely a dream. You all will agree to it. If we want to go somewhere, we have a vision of, let's say, 10K something, and in any financial term or number term, we have some kind of vision which is why we are working. So for that we have to have an energy, we have to have cumulative energy. Cumulative energy is backed by leadership, backed by zeal, backed by the enthusiasm, the sense of commitment. Energy the energy is giving is reflected by the sense of commitment they are working for this. They is this the vision which is being asked or being expected. Leaders must possess digital awareness to make informed decisions. We all are in a technology driven world. The use of automation, the use of AI, artificial intelligence, every day is leading us. We know that it is not just environment which is changing, a lot of dynamics are changing. So the leaders must have a digital presence, awareness, and should be ready to make informed decisions, because their vision will attract the energy, which is again reflected in a way of sense of commitment, or the zeal, or the enthusiasm, or a sense of responsiveness towards toward the vision. So energy without vision is a wasted motion, and vision without energy is just mere a dream. So you can understand the complementary effect both actually plays. Without vision, energy, if you have all energies, you are ready to work, you have zeal, enthusiasm, but you don't know where to land. It's a dream, right? And the more, if you have vision, but and you do not have the backing of energy, you cannot go to that. It will be a dream again. So in both the way, there has to be focus. There has to have a complementary effect. You have to have a great vision which should be shared, so that you will have an energy backing. It's a fuel, it's kind of fuel which will make the team go ahead and actually achieve the desired vision. Yeah. Inspirational leadership, what set them apart? The moment we mention about inspiring leaders, inspirational leaderships, what separate them from competent leaders from who inspire unwavering loyalty, extraordinary presence? There are three answers to it. First is deep authenticity. Inspirational leaders, when we talk about, create meaning beyond task. They are not here to just do the task, they are creating meanings. They communicate for purposeful content. They remain transparent, they are authentic, and they know how to actually work in crisis resilience. They are leading with empathy. They have completely clear in their vision. They have the purpose, and their authenticity is very deep. Now let's just work on it. Inspirational leaders reveal their genuine selves. You cannot hide yourself from your team. You have to share the vulnerabilities alongside with your strength. As I said, no one is perfect in this. No one is supposed to be perfect. We all are human beings. We are meant to make mistakes. And we should be able to understand, accept, and the moment we acknowledge them, we should not repeat them. We should learn. There should be a learning from the mistakes. Same ways, the more authentic you are, the real self you are, you're not faking. You're not faking as a leader. You are actually being the real self of yourself. You are, at times, you'll be vulnerable. At times, you'll be strong enough to handle everything. There can be possibility. There can be possibility of you being vulnerable in spite of being a leader. So you understand this very well. The authenticity creates psychological safety and trust. Psychological trust, which you are trying to build. Remember, we talked about leader making relationship and results work. The results is expected by organization. Relationship is what the team expected a leader to give them a positivity, to be positive enough, to be empathetic enough, to listen them, to have a deep authenticity, so that there'll be a trust factor, there'll be a safety factor, they'll feel safe, they'll feel safe under your supervision, under your work authority, under your leadership. They'll feel that they are safe, they'll not be targeted, they'll not be humiliated. Remember, these are very negative words. And the more you are clear, the more you are clear in your purpose, the more you are articulated enough in compelling them. Why this? Why that transits profits? Why this activity? Why is this so much needed by the organization? You have to have that much of clear purpose in your mind. Only then you can actually convert your workforce into action. Only then you can inspire them. Only then your words will inspire them. People commit to missions that matters and leaders who embody those values. You, as a leader, are expected to have these three positional situation, which actually transform the normal leader into inspirational leader. If you are deeply authentic, if you are clear in your purpose, and the last one is if you are resilient in crisis. Crisis, as you all know, will happen. There's a lot of uncertainty. The challenges arises when the leader is there with their determination, with his consistency, with his or her consistency. He or she is providing you with the support in the at the time of crisis. The strength, the resilience he is showcasing is actually transforming a normal leader into an inspirational leader. So, inspirational leader isn't about perfection, it's just about connection, courage, and ability to help others see the possibilities that couldn't seen alone. A very important line. We should never think that the moment we say that he or she is an inspirational leader, he or she is not supposed to make any mistake. That's not possible. That's again, that's impossible to happen. We are human beings, we are bound to make mistakes. But a leadership is not about perfection. It is about connection. It is about courage. It is about ability to actually making them see what they could not actually see or they cannot see alone. Making them feel the connection or building that bridge between the organization and the teammates is the work of a leader. We'll talk on, we'll in this slide, we'll try to take things which are practical steps to develop your power skill today. To develop your power skill, guys, plans how to not just give authority, just not work with authority, but to, it is not your positional leadership. It is more of a modern leadership which has influence, which has empathy, which has inspiration, which has collaboration. You are coming up with new constant learning. So we'll see the steps of to develop our power skills as which is required in the landscape of 2026 now. Traditional leadership is now more or less outdated. We are focusing on the continuous learning. The first very important thing is if we want to transform our leadership, we need to commit ourselves to constant continuous learning. Embrace AI influency, digital literacy as core competency. We cannot save ourselves saying that this is something which is not required. AI is here to stay. Artificial intelligence and automation, data analytics is here to stay. And we have to master them to, and we have to learn them, try to master them, have that much of competency in us so that we can actually help our help our teammates to actually work better. We should be able to dedicate time weekly to understand these technologies, emerging technologies. We as a leader cannot stay out of all this and say no, we are done, we are leader, we are not supposed to learn. There's a need of a leader. Modern technologies are the advanced technologies is here to stay. As a leader we are supposed to learn, try to master them, and have a greater and try to devote a fixed weekly time to understand the technology which is there to stay. Cultivate executive presence. We talked about gravitas, appearances, collaboration. So this communication, these three component we talked about will complete us. So we should seek coaching if we need, so as to have an honest feedback on our communication style, body language, and impact we are creating on the people. We should record ourselves, present, and identify, try to identify all which is required to be changed. Conscious effort from our side to develop the leadership is important because it can create impact. It can actually help you to know, actually understand what is importantly required at your end. how well you are in communication, how well you are in listening. Remember, listening is also a skill. Practice listening with attention, set feedbacks, seek feedbacks, set visions, and commit yourself for learning. Communicate vision regularly, because through vision you'll get energy. Remember, without energy, vision is a dream. Without vision, energy is waste. We have to align our vision and our energies toward our vision, right? So we have to cultivate the executive presence. As we all know, executive presence comprises of three components, that is gravitas, our communication, and our appearance. Our body language, our impact. We cannot, again, prioritize active listening, make empathy, genuine curiosity, non negotiable in each transaction, each interaction. We, as a leader, are supposed to listen with empathy and create genuine curiosity, because this is kind of non-negotiable in an interaction, because the more you are into this active listening phase, you will understand the problem your team is facing. You will ask deeper questions and urge them to actually come out of that problem, because the entire system is how to build a collaborative culture. Collaborative culture environment with diverse perspectives are welcomed. To have psychological safeties, recognize, reward them um, publicly, and acknowledge, appreciate their work, so as this will give the whole unit a oneness, the ownership, the authority, the accountability, the factors of sense of commitment. Again, we should revisit our vision. Revisiting your vision. Why do we need to revisit our vision? We have already decided one. Why? It is the need. We should regularly communicate our vision and see how well we have aligned and energized. Remember, energy and vision. We have to share progress. We have to celebrate the wins. As a leader, we should celebrate the wins and correct the course transparently when needed, because this will create a harmony, this will create a oneness, this will create a compassion amongst the whole unit. The team will feel then, yes, we are rewarded, we are valued, we are listened, we are being discussed, the vision is being discussed, the energy is aligned. We have a great leader who is inspiring us, who is actually creating a lot of influence on us, who's actually listening to us, who's actually a driven person. His The leader is why they look up to you, because they know that you are actually, as a leader, you are also committed, you are also learning every day, you are thriving to the committed toward continuous learning. It is not just that you are making them work, you are here to work along. And as I said, you are there to handhold, you are there to support them, you are there to guide when they needed them, right? So yes. the future leaders the future belongs to the leaders who influence with their actions, not titles. Very important word. With titles, not titles. You cannot expect them. As I said, leadership is something to work on collaboration, work on influence, work on inspiration. So, in daily actions, you have to reflect your leadership. You have to have that power skills. We discussed what all the power skills are and how well we can use them in our working styles, because we understand the more well we are in communication, our communication more will be able to inspire them. The inspiration can convert into positivity in the environment, in the office structure. Work on the expertise, work on yourself, try to coach yourself better, try to learn more of more learn about your to develop more positive gravitas of your own, so that you can have a greater influence. Also encourage creativity, innovation. I at times try to be flexible, try to be okay. It is okay to make mistakes. Acknowledge that and also appreciate them at times. You cannot do entire work on your own. There's a lot of complexity around. We have to navigate through that complexity. So we need teams, we need good people, we need the people who are working under us. So delegate work diligently and also at times mentor them. Mentor because they look up to you. They are, as a teammate, they know that there is a leader who can guide us. Your toolkit for complexity. The toolkit comprises of communication, collaboration, executive presence, and emotional intelligence. Essential instruments, essential for us to navigate an increasingly complex and driving breakthrough results. This is not just this much. You have to have an authenticity. Remember, a very important deep authenticity to create the sense of oneness, sense of honesty. You, as a leader, people are here to follow you. Why will they follow you? Because they know that you have a sense of trust, you have a sense of commitment, you are consistent in your conduct, you are you are a person they look up to, you are you are there to actually change and enhance the work value. You can create strong connection, the psychologically driven workforce, is actually which is actually going to take this the shared vision of the organization ahead. You had to have an attitude of problem solving. Listing problem is not something which will work for you. As a leader, as a modern leader, you're supposed to have a toolkit ready for yourself. So communicate well, be articulate at times, and collaborate openly, wisely, because collaboration can work wonders for organization, wonders for your own portfolio as a leader, and it can also help you to enhance, to accelerate, to empower your surroundings, and to have a stronger gravitas of your own. Try to work on your appearance, the way you appear, the way you speak, the way you communicate. Structure your mind, structure your body of thoughts in a way so that they are aligned with the vision you actually want your teammates to work on. Again, leadership isn't about title. It is not about position. It isn't about, it is no more just that you are positioned at one place and you are there to guide them as a leader. No, leadership is more about creating an influence, leading them that influence, not with authority. It is an art, it is a skill to imbibe in you. Because the moment you understand that there is a leadership, there's an efficient leadership existing, because people want to follow you. In spite of having a choice of not following you, they still want to follow you. They still want to hear you. They still want to see. They still want to seek your advice your for their work portfolios. That is what is important because you are developing them. It is not about your sole development. You cannot, as a leader, you should not focus on your development. There should be a development of whole, of an organization, of your teammates, of your own self as well, and as a nation builder. So yes, past skills enable leaders to influence ethically, inspire authentically, and lead confidentially. And we all know and understand that there is a greater need of having an effective and efficient leadership, because if your leader is efficient, your energies will be aligned towards your work portfolios. The working atmosphere is definitely so very dependent on how well your leader take you. So be present, build people, breakthrough. The question isn't whether you have what it takes to lead to this new era. The question is, will you commit to become a leader this moment demands? So yeah, this was all about the leadership, the gravitas, the influence, the energies, vision, and breakthroughs. The power skill is there in us. It is just a matter of honing it through more. And as by now we are on the closure of this webinar, and I totally trust that the insights, the the skill set, the past skill set we have discussed, which is a part of leadership, should be there, be it communication, be it collaboration, or inspiration, or defining the expertise, extending the expertise, sorry, to connectivity, creating the connections, becoming the mentor, uh, creating that confidence or trust factor in your team so that you can have a better influence, influence which is so important. Influence, because through influence you can actually create your decisions. Purposeful clarity, again, so important. Ensure that your purposeful clarity is there, the message is understood. Be consistent in your building. Strategic thinking, how can I forget this? These are the listed few qualities for having a good reflection of leader. Emotional connect, we are working with people, so we have to understand that emotional intelligence is something so very important, because the more will make the people respected, will make the people valued, we are building our blocks in a positive way. Our tone, of authority should also not be powered with aggression. We are not here to make aggressive. We should never try to work on aggression. We should not uh, work. We should rather work with confidence, not with aggression. Because if you work with aggression, you are definitely not going to get a better. You'll not get a consistent results. If the people are having confidence in you and you are not aggressive enough, you are respectful, rather you are valuing them, the greater chance of you to being appreciated. So yeah, this is how. And we as a we I in this slide would like to hereby ending on the end, I like you all to try to identify the power skill, the skill you have as a leader. Try to have that habit of conscious habit of improving yourself. Every day is a learning day. We are not perfect, but we can try towards perfection, right? Here, so yeah, I'm hereby closing and thanking you all for your participation and time. I now welcome you all your questions if you have any. And again, with this, yeah, yeah, sure. Let me check that. Hmm. Okay. So I have got a very interesting question. Are there any deep dive courses? I'm supposing I'm getting to know understand that they are trying. The question is related to leadership, and we I mentioned that there are multiple courses which actually are which are designed in a way to make you more efficient in delivery, and you can you can get yourself coached, and you can get feedbacks from your elder leaders, your inspirational leaders amongst you all, and ask them for more suggestions how we can improve, how you should improve. And so that's it. I think leadership itself is a skill, and the more you will practice, you'll learn. But definitely there are times you can coach yourself. You get yourself enrolled for certain kind of courses which you can practice some kind of articulation, because collaboration working your appearances, working on your gravitas is so important. So yes, we can divide our work. Uh, we can practice that in certain kind of coaches. So yes, there are certain courses which are designed in such a way. Okay. Uh, been asked the second next question I've been asked is, please suggest some good books on leadership. There are multiple books which are available. I have read a few of them, and have taken the insights also from them, which I believe is Attitude is Everything. It's a very important, very good book which is available in Amazon also. So you can read that, because I believe that leadership is more about how you behave, and how well you communicate yourself, and how well you carry yourself, how good, how positive your aura is and your gravitas is. And one more book is that The Secret of Leadership by Ayar Prakash. You can read that as well. That is also a good book on leadership. Yes. Anything more to add? Anything more to ask me? I would like to thank you all. And as we are on the close of this webinar, PSE is ICI. I extend my sincere thanks for providing me with this wonderful opportunity. I'm sure the insights I share today will help and will have an importance of adopting and value-driven sound leadership approach, particularly in the professional responsibility of as a chartered accountant. And the strength of our profession lies in commitment to integrity, independence, and strict adherence of statutory and ethical standards, and also navigating the complexities in our business environment, as we all have discussed today. So, yeah, thank you so much, PSEEC, for this wonderful opportunity. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, we are waiting for a minute or two if there are some questions popping up on the chat box.
Sure, ma'am, sure. Not a problem. We'll wait for 5 minutes. And if there are any questions,
Yeah, we'll just wait for some questions coming up on the chat box.
sure, sure. Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
I guess this is a new one. Can you please share insights from the leadership books? The insights which have been asked my side, I guess I'll try to cover them. Very first is mastering your influence. Every leadership, every leadership in modern world, we definitely will agree to this. There is a there is a basic requirement of mastering your influence. Influence is the true test of leadership in these days, and we in this way you can influence and you can communicate intentionally. Having a clear purpose, the clarity of purpose is very important. Be consistent in your conduct. Can be respectful in interaction. Ensure the message is being heard. Be authentic. and try to build the confidence over time. As I said, it is not that you'll it is leadership is not something which is magic. Does not happen overnight. It is something which you'll have to build on. Every day you have to work on it, and then you'll see the transition. You'll see the effect of it. Impact definitely will be long lasting. It will have a great respect, great empathy, and good influence. Very important to have an influence. Access to have a great influence. And the more you are clear your focus, energy, they both should be aligned. Otherwise, it is just waste, right? So try to align your energies toward the vision to build that energy as well. Because the people around you are your assets. Yeah, that's it now.
Ma'am, one more question is coming up. Which power
Thank you.
skills, emotional intelligence, communication, or adaptability play the most
Mm.
crucial role in inspiring teams? Can you just elaborate
Okay.
on this?
Yeah, sure, definitely. It's a very good question because the components, as we discussed, the three components are so important in past skills. Yes, communication is integral, but emotional intelligence is something which is gaining a lot of momentum these days. Try to focus that there because as a CA, as a chartered accountant, as a professional, we are good in communication. We are good at communicating ourselves. But emotional intelligence is something which was lacking. Should have been taken more care of. So yes, this is that is something a big component and which can we can make and break the leadership. So we have to understand that connection with your people, with your team is so very important because they are actually going to actually work for you. So you have to inspire them. You have to inculcate the confidence, the build, try to build that confidence in them so that they are trusting you. They are trusting you for the fact that yes, the leader is there to handhold us. The leader is there to guide us. Leader is there to actually take us ahead. So that is one factor which I definitely will say that we all need to focus on. Other than that, yes, try to build your confidence, try to build a positive gravitas of your own so that you'll have a great influence on others. Yes, ma'am. That's it.
And and then one more thing that nowadays the leaders have to balance themselves because in terms of technical expertise as well as in terms of the high pressure centric atmosphere that they are facing, upper the line they are facing some pressure. They have to put this pressure to the downline. Can you just elaborate what is the best way to handle such type of pressures?
Wonderful question again. This is so relevant in these complex environment like the way you mentioned, ma'am. We have pressures from upscales and we have teams down. So we, as a leader, are supposed to keep ourselves calm and composed because the more we are calm, the team below us will definitely have more confidence in us. As I said, mentioned in this my slide also, that you have to understand that there is a lot of pressures. There will be a lot of pressures, and we as a leader have to understand that we cannot start directing or immediately firing our team below us because they are the asserts. They are actually the person who are actually going to work for us. So we have to be polite enough and understand the requirements of them, listen to their problems, and obviously work accordingly so that there is, as I said, there should be an alignment. Yeah, the resources and results. Resources and results. The decision is ours. We have to understand that resources are well placed, well taken care of, so that the desired results are actually achieved. Yes, ma'am.
Nowadays the problem is that in this whole scenario, the leader gets frustrated very much he is in much complex situation, because the down line is totally, can be when enough pressure is given, they go for a resignation mode, and upper people are just looking on the goals and the targets to achieve, and this becomes a very crucial position for the leader to handle this situation, right? So like what you were discussing about so many power skills in your whole webcast are very important for a leader to understand so many points. And as we understood that emotional intelligence is nowadays a very important criteria, any person who can have a high EQ only can perform. He
Yes.
has to bear, and specifically when he is in the middle position, he has to bear so much of things while doing his task, his role, and he has to listen to everybody across.
Yes,
So,
totally.
ma'am, this was the last question which was posed. And I think there are no more further questions. We'll once check up the. Yes, ma'am. There are no further more questions. We can go ahead for winding off of this webcast today.
Thank you.
So it has been such an honor that today you were with us for an important topic of the webcast: Leadership Redefined, Power Skills for Influencing, Inspiring, and Leading in Today's World, organized by Professional Skills Enrichment Committee ICAI. I would like to extend my heartful thanks and a warm applause to the today's speaker, CA Maninder Kaurji, for her enlightening session. I would also like to have a huge round of applause for all the organizers of Professional Skills Enrichment Committee ICAI and all the stakeholders who made our this webcast a real memorable one. I thank all of you present over here, my technical team, Dr. Shambit Kumar Mishra Sarji, who has been pioneer in hosting all this webcast. And not least and the last, I would like to thank all the people who are continuously with us on these different series of webcasts hosted by Professional Skills Enrichment Committee. This month, we are bringing up still more new topics for the enrichment of our students, members, and all those who are the participants of this webcast. Signing off as CA Bhavi Thakkar, wishing you all a very happy and a great day ahead. Thank you, ma'am, once again to be a part of this webcast. Thanking you all. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Good day.